Well,
And that's it. Come off initiative now. No, nothing's left.
you know what? That's what how I want. Bury me in chocolate pudding when I die. Just a morass of chocolate pudding.
Well, there's your corpse and there's the pudding. So why don't you be the change you want to see in the world?
Oh
No.
oh,
You walked right into that one. I'm sorry.
You did.
that's twice.
Can't.
That's twice I've self-owned. Oh.
Okay. Victor,
Was it everything you wanted, Ekon?
you were right. I don't think I say that often enough.
The room is very still now as the galaxy brain has stopped pulsating. The two remaining students have forced themselves as far back into the wall as they possibly can, utterly terrified at the scene.
3 students. The one is unconscious.
Victor is going to go back to Jeswin's room and start looking for anything that might be useful.
Victor, your plate of french fries is rapidly cooling off.
15, I'm pretty sure is going to go to there, right? I'm going to go over and confirm that. Or the
I
door.
mean, he's gonna
The
continue
door
to
at 15 opens up into a small hallway to the other side of this door, north of 17.
Yeah.
This
that's what I
door
assumed.
here is barred from the inside.
Okay.
They have
So there's a like 10-foot long corridor with a bar door.
correct. The second door on the far side of the corridor, they have barred because the howlers were out there.
Victor, Gene, I need somebody to check for traps before I open this.
It's not true.
Give me a second.
It's fine.
Is there anything worth taking with us from his belongings?
I doubt any traps are still operable in this place.
No,
I'm gonna-
nothing valuable.
I'm going to tell the students to get to the platform where I sent the other two.
Okay.
Is there anything Genie might like?
Can I use a heal check to wake this guy up?
Yeah, if you want, you can get him awake.
Evie looks at Ekon. It's like, you know those guys are just taking those people and killing them to sell the flesh rights, right?
I don't know about that.
So yeah, Ekon, you kind of stabilize the man, jostle him awake. He's got a big lump on his head, but otherwise he's fine. Seeing the scene before him, you see confusion and fear start to wash over his visage. Ekon, give me a persuasion check at... Let's make it a regular persuasion check. The DC is going to be a little higher, though.
Yep. 17.
Okay. So over the course of a couple minutes, you manage to get the two men calmed down and impress on them that if you want to get out of here with your life, you direct them towards the river exit.
Yeah.
And all 3 of them shuffle out that way. I mean, the man who owns their flesh rights is dead now, so they have a fighting
New lease
chance.
on life.
Yeah, Victor, going through... This is just a makeshift living quarters. You're sure that he has his actual personal quarters somewhere else on campus, or at least in town. This is just a place where long nights in the lab, this is where he kicks his feet up to get 6 hours of sleep a night. Beyond that, there's a couple changes of clothes. Everything in here is filthy. Some bedding that hasn't been changed out in a few weeks, probably.
Is there any books or things that look like research notes?
No, but you would expect to find them here.
Victor
you
will
don't see
do
anything of the sort.
So he'll do a more
check his
thorough
body.
search and then he'll head back.
I guess I'll drag Jesuit out of the chocolate pudding and see if he had anything.
This might be the most bizarre thing you've ever done.
I had to murder my sister's doppelganger a few hours ago.
Yeah, but murdering one person feels much like murdering anybody else.
Are we digging him out of the
Yeah, you
chocolate
pull.
pudding?
He's just your knife is still there, covered in chocolate. The pudding itself is delicious, by the way.
I'm not eating it. Absolutely not. This is some extra-dimensional horror chocolate pudding.
Would you like a French fry instead?
No.
Is it dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Which one does Jeannie like more?
So Victor's going to do something crazy. He's actually going to go dip a French fry in the chocolate pudding and then eat it.
Okay, that's just weird. Like, even in the context of this situation, that's weird.
Yeah, the pudding
Yeah.
is fine, and the fry is fine. I don't know that the combination of the two is culinarily acceptable, but, I mean, that's Victor's call.
I'm sure someone somewhere likes that.
Nothing bad happens to you as an effect of eating the pudding or the fries.
Fish fingers and custard, apparently.
I like that I had to roll on that little table 3 times, and I got like 2 food items. Just in case anybody skipped lunch.
All right, does Jesuin have anything worth taking?
A couple of, like some medical implements, forceps, a stethoscope, that kind of thing. You definitely get the sense that he was trying to take control of the situation, but didn't really know what to do about it.
Well, I think it's solved now.
Yeah.
That or this whole province of Ravenloft is going to get pulled into this extra dimensional brain dimension now.
The brain is no longer pulsating, and in fact, it looks like it's slowly deflating on the table. Juice is starting to build up and leak down over the edges onto the floor.
Ew.
Yuck. Yeah,
All
if there's
right,
nothing
so
worth.
I think that's everything on this side of the river.
Jeannie's still
Yeah,
just staring at her own corpse.
Leave them be.
Oh wait, no, there's one door we didn't try.
Where?
In the room that we're fighting the hound things.
In here.
Oh.
Let's go check it out.
Yeah.
Okay, back on the other side of the Howler room, you find a hallway that's been badly split and mangled by the earthquake, and the river rushing and crashing through it. On the opposite side of it, you see a large natural cave sloping very steeply away from you to the south, sloping up. And no small quantity of mud and debris is showering down from that direction.
Anything interesting over there, Flyboy?
Let's take a look. Fly over.
Walrun.
Well, I don't have any immediate ways to get over there.
Watch jealously.
Ekon, looking up the steep slope here towards the back of the chamber, you think you make out a pinpoint of daylight at the far end from here. But climbing anywhere past this line is going to be very treacherous. Even flying might be treacherous because of how steeply the slope is compared to the grade of the room's ceiling. Basically, there's a mudslide happening there, and it would not be safe to put your feet or any part of your body climbing up.
There's some light, maybe from the surface, but it looks real. It looks like it could go at any time, the entire chamber.
Even flying up there would be very treacherous. You'd have to, like, your back would practically be flat against the ceiling as you're flying several inches above the top of the mudslide at the far end.
Well, is there any reason for us to even want to poke around over there?
Doesn't look like it.
Well, Ekon
I don't see
sees
anything other than
potentially
exit than
sunlight.
Yeah.
Can you use your telekinesis to trigger the mudslide while we're at a safe distance?
I mean, I can throw a 10-pound rock into it. I can probably manage about that much with my own arms. Not much more than that, but...
So you're going to disturb the mudslide?
Let's... Edmont, why don't you step out of the chamber for a minute? And I'll fly back to the maximum range of telekinesis, and yeah, I'll drop, a 10-pound stone into the edge of the mudslide at the top.
And you move the stone forward and drop it with some force, and the mud curls over it, and it agitates that whole side of the room, and you can see something collapsing underneath it as everything shifts violently to one side in this swirling vortex. The crumbling mud and stone and debris comes to a rest basically where you're standing at your boots. So yeah, putting any amount of weight onto this mudslide would be very treacherous. You don't know what the ground looks like underneath it. Disturbing it is a bad idea.
I mean, unless we can teleport, I don't think there's a reasonable way out of here through there.
Back to the sketchy bros.
Yeah.
I'd be leaving you a lot behind if I teleported, so that's a non-starter.
And it's also daylight out there.
I could get 2 people out there.
And
We
as
could
you
get
come up on
everybody
the
out
guy,
there but Jeannie.
as you come up behind the guy, he's working the pulleys with his hands, just pulling the rope hand over hand. Oh, you've returned. I just sent 3 more students across.
We're the last people here.
I sure hope so. My arms are getting tired. Can you wait a moment?
I'll be getting over there. No problem. I can get over there under my own power.
Actually, you can get on the platform, and the 2 of us can send you across.
You're telling the man that?
Yeah.
And he shakes his head. Says, there's no need for that, friend.
How do you plan to get out of here then?
And he motions upstream. The refinery, they can pull the platform that direction just as easily. He lives on that side of the river anyway. He operates this river over the course of his daily duties, and he doesn't expect that it's going to be this swift and treacherous forever. By this evening, it should have calmed down to normalcy again. It's more difficult to pull the platform back upriver in its current state, but it's not impossible.
Suit yourself. Let us know when you're ready.
He's ready right now. He can send 5 people across at a time.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I can get across under my own power.
I can fly, so I'll just hover next to the platform.
Okay.
I think everybody, like Victor, and I think everybody, it's like 5. The rest of us minus the 2 of them equals 5.
Well, the course counts as 1.
Then that's 5.
I know, it's 5.
So, Ekon, you guys had already scouted a little bit down the river here. You've got this, like, floor-to-ceiling stone pillar here, and this little choke point, and you can see the pulley system snaking its way up along the right-hand wall of the cavern if you're looking back upriver towards where your companions are. Yeah, he loads the 5 of them up onto the platform, and he lets them down about 25 feet. I'm just going to use Victor to represent that, around this corner.
So Victor is waiting for this platform to fail, and he's going to try and grab the rope when it does.
It doesn't fail, but it does stop at this point. You have to crane your neck precariously around this tight corner to even see the operator anymore. The water is battering the platform beneath you. It doesn't feel safe at all, despite his assurances that it is.
What's the problem?
You hear his voice call back. Oi, are you lot okay?
We stopped.
How much gold do you have?
Unfortunately, none. We're a bit broke.
Fine clothes, deep pockets, friend.
Victor will... Can Victor grab the rope?
I mean, you can reach up overhead and grab onto it.
So can Victor climb onto the rope and try to take the rope down ways?
Would
You can't operate the mechanism from the platform. You could theoretically climb the rope, but it's going to require multiple athletics checks, and failing one will be very bad.
So I have a mechanical question on how this is set up.
Yep.
Okay. It is the entire thing, the entire like object the basket we're sitting in. Plus, is that 500 pounds or more?
The raft itself, probably not. It's just, I mean, it's a fairly sturdy device, heavy wooden device, but probably not 500 pounds.
Okay. If I were to, then I'm going to cast Levitate on it and just move it across.
Okay. Yeah, and you pick it up out of the water. The rope holding the platform to the police network up on the wall goes a little slack.
I can all move to the back and push.
As you guys are doing this, levitating the platform away, you hear him call back out, his voice receding into the distance, threatening you to throw you bags of gold that you're carrying. Throw it back around the corner, or he's going to cut the rope and let you all drop into the river.
That'd be stupid, friend. Then you'd be stuck here.
You get
Fine clothes, deep pockets, powerful magic.
20 or 30 feet down the river, And the rope does indeed go slack and snakes all the way through the chains. So now the only thing suspending the platform above the river is your telekinesis spell. And you push it safely down the river to where Edmont is waiting.
Yeah, Edmont does call out, "Find clothes, deep pockets. Powerful magic, you fool."
You didn't hear what he said at all. You were way too far away. I mean, the sound of the water is... You have to yell to get over it.
Okay, so that guy's just trapped in here now.
He
He's
thinks
gonna
he'll be
die.
fine.
Maybe there's more dogs and they'll eat him.
Good job, Genie.
He's not anybody's favorite NPC.
No.
Didn't he have a friend?
Probably not. I mean,
I thought you said there was somebody on this end too. Is there not?
With that kind of behavior, probably not.
by the time you guys get across, there's nobody else in this area, no. This is like a natural cave network that you've stepped into. And the passage that Ekon is looking down here starts to slope downward and away.
This goes down, probably not the way we want to go.
Yeah,
So,
let's move
question.
in this direction.
This passage that we just came up of, is there like loose rock or anything where it looks like it might be in danger of collapse?
No.
Damn. Okay.
Okay, so yeah,
I
looking
would-
down into the room. Kind of a large open cave area, but you can see where parts of the stone floor have rushes thrown down and gravel worked down into the floor against the kind of natural slipperiness of the cave. Natural walkways crisscrossing back and forth, as though the place does see some foot traffic from time to time.
For reference, right now I am still hovering about a foot off the ground,
That's fine.
just in
So
case,
what's the-
just in case I step on something and you want to,
The whole floor turns to pudding.
yeah.
So what's the expected solution to that puzzle? Is like we can't have the chicken and the grain on the raft at the same time. You can't have the wolf on the same time as the chicken.
Who's the chicken? I mean, Edmont wasn't on the.
No,
Someone
we just,
needed to stay on the other side to threaten the guy.
I didn't write an expected solution. I just wrote that the guy was going to drop you in the drink if you didn't pay him and let you guys figure it out.
Is
Okay.
Victor? Wait, is Victor's the chicken, right?
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Edmont's
But the
the
clear
dog.
answer was we can't. Is our mage cast levitate, and we're like, get wrecked, nerd.
And Genie's corpse is the lettuce.
Yes.
I'm not comfortable with that analogy.
Victor, looking
I
off in
guess-
this direction, you can see where the caves start. This turn to the north here opens up into a hallway that, where the walls and floor are made of masonry rather than natural stone. The slope down ahead of you has a similar look at the far end of it, this T-juncture.
Which way? I think we should check down first.
For to make our way up. But
It both goes south and literally down.
Well, down isn't the way we want to go, but
Well, that's exactly why we should go check it out now.
I want to
Yeah.
point out. I want to point out this is the exact same reason that we ended up fighting Galaxy Brain.
Yeah,
And
I
then
lead you to good ideas.
Victor, at the end of this sloped hallway, you see a door. Standing in front of it is a very, very small man. A grown man, but no more than maybe 3 feet tall. He's clutching in his hands a workman's hammer. Not like a war hammer, but like a smithing hammer. He's wearing a filthy apron, and he smells horrible. This is a man that probably works with whale fat all day long, every day. He turns towards you, puffs his chest out, holds his hammer out in front. Oi, who goes there?
Again.
Yeah, he's speaking in Lamortian.
We're just some people trying to escape from the ruin of the college.
He cocks his head to one side. So I wouldn't know anything about that, but you won't escape through here.
Is that like he's not going to let us, or there isn't an escape this way?
He explains that it's private property that has nothing to do with the college.
This is the refinery, probably.
Yeah, let's check the other passage before we force our way through here.
Is there anything around this corner before we head back?
He doesn't like that you're approaching that close to him.
Is he? Well, is he down here, or is he?
He is way down here by the door.
Okay, yeah. So Victor is gonna look down this passageway.
Looking around the corner, you see a very tiny crack in the wall here. You could probably just barely squeeze through it, but you can hear dust and rubble settling on the other side. It looks like this crap was just opened up by the earthquake in the last couple hours.
Is it possible to see anything on the other side?
Darkness beyond.
Hey, you know what I haven't been using?
You're familiar?
Yeah, I presume I haven't mentioned where he's been, so I assume he probably got put away when we came into the college when they were making us give up all our magical stuff, but I'll bring him back out now.
Okay.
And he has dark vision, so he can take a look. I'm sure
Going
there's
into the
something
cave back
horrible.
here?
Yeah, he's gonna, approach slowly and see what's in here.
It's a very tight, cramped cave. The smallest of you, not wearing armor or carrying your pack, would be able to squeeze into it. And there's not really much to see back here. It's just a crack in the earth that has opened up from the earthquake. And just about the time you think, okay, there's nothing that way, there's no escape that way, there's no water or anything, you hear a light groan from underneath some rubble on the far side. That sounds human.
There might be someone trapped in there.
Can we go around this other direction?
Coming around from the other direction, you see basically the same thing. At this side, as you start going down this slope, you see a tight crack in the wall. It just looks like a natural crevice that has sheared itself open during the earthquake. And if you stand there and you're very quiet and you listen, you can hear light groaning from maybe 10 feet on the other side of the crack.
Can you
So
stone shape
Ekon
it?
is neither the smallest among us nor not wearing armor.
Right.
Can you stone shape?
Can you what?
Can you stone shape, Ekon?
No, not today.
I guess I have to
please
try to
do.
go through then? Or can Edmund do it?
Can we widen the opening before anyone tries to go through?
That would require time and effort. You would have to get the proper tools.
I'm also loath to do it because it was just a recent earthquake. Any amount of severe disturbing could cause the whole thing to collapse.
Well,
Internet
Edmont's
historian just put out an excellent video on that subject a few weeks ago. So, Edmont,
Who
you're going to
did?
squeeze in?
Before Edmont squeezes in, Jeannie hands you a rock with the 5 foot, a candle rock essentially. Using
Okay.
her little class feature, so we can see you. She doesn't
Yeah.
say any words. She just puts it in your hand and walks away.
Edmont, you're not
Alright.
wearing any armor, correct?
Correct.
And you shrug your pack onto the ground and carefully work your way into the crevice. And as you do, putting your foot, you feel the stones shifting under your boots. And a couple of your steps have to be very carefully measured to avoid slipping. It's a very tight squeeze. There's places where you have to arch your back and you feel the press of the rock on your stomach as you do. But yeah, 10 or 15 feet in, you can hear the groaning just in front of you and below you at your feet.
What does the light coin eliminate anybody indirect appearance?
Looking down, the crevice slopes away from you gently, and it's filled with rubble and broken stone. And looking for a moment, you can see the edge of a few fingers poking up out of one of them, as though reaching towards you. And you hear the groaning turn into words underneath your boots in Lemordian.
Edmont calls out in Darkanese, while tossing a rope down, and says, "Grab on." Try to hit the hand with it.
So you're going to try to feed him a rope?
Yeah.
And the edges of his fingers tighten around it, so you see that the man still has strength left.
See if I can pull him out. My
And as
noodle
you-
arms.
Pull and apply some pressure here. And try to pull him up and out. You hear him gasp out in pain. He's caught by rocks. He's buried in rubble.
call out to Ekon, say, brother. I think he's a little more injured than. I don't know if it's safe to move him like this.
Genie, can you get him out of there?
So is this guy like down a shaft, or is he in a position where Ekon can just like start moving rocks away?
You could start moving the rubble away, but it would probably be a long and painstaking process. It would involve Edmont being here, passing rubble back to you guys, probably as like a chain gang, handing it down the hallway. And like Edmont says, moving any of the rocks in here causes shifting that is impossible to predict. Any movement could be the last one.
Jeannie doesn't answer, but she looks down the hall. So like with Edmont standing there, and he is holding a
Source
kind
of
of
light.
small light source.
Yeah.
Can I see him? And is he visible from like standing in the before you have to squeeze?
You could see parts of Edmont on the other side of the squeeze. You're not able to see the man's hands at all.
Okay, that's what I wanted to
In
know.
fact, Edmont can only barely see them from certain angles where he's standing, because he's kind of standing up above the field of rubble where the man is buried. He didn't know that the man was there until he literally looked down at his own feet with the light source.
How long does it take to doff armor? Hold on.
A few minutes. I think it's 10 minutes for heavy armor. I don't think
I'm not wearing
heavy
heavy armor. No, I'm wearing medium. But it takes 5 minutes to don, 1 minute to doff. Okay. So I'll just start taking my breastplate off.
armor.
Uh, Ekon will assist her. I'll lead you out of this room because there's not going to be any space in here with your armor on the ground.
If you try to touch Jeannie, she will slap your hands away.
She eats all of it.
Genie, let's do that in a place with a little bit more space so we don't have to trip over your armor on the way.
But
So
anyway,
Jeannie doffs her armor and lays her pack down.
Yep, her. And then she goes back in.
Okay.
I think Edmont should get out of the way first, right?
There's enough space for Jeannie and Edmont to shuffle past each other once they're on the other side of the tight squeeze. So like Edmont can step back and then Jeannie could step into the space where he was.
Okay. Jeannie is going to. She's going to shoo you. She tells you to go back in the other room. And using her last level 3 spell slot, she casts Vortex Warp, and Vortex this warp man as far back down the hall as she can get him.
You can, from your position, you could probably see like a shred of Orson's leg if he's being illuminated.
Yeah.
So you reach down and grab the man's. You can't grab his whole hand, just kind of. His
No, I'm not
fingers.
grabbing anything. I'm just like I stand as far back as I can to see him.
Mm-hmm.
Like not next to him unless that is required.
That's required in this case.
Okay. Yeah. And well, then I'm going to stand next to his hand.
Okay.
And I'm going to Vortex Warp him as far down the hall as is visible.
And you do, and the whole cavern fills with the sound of rubble falling and settling as the suddenly empty space where you vortex warped the man from fills in. Very badly wounded. He looks like one of the factory workers. One of his arm is bent in an unnatural way. His side of his head is grimy, covered in blood, caked over one eye. And he looks around, shocked and surprised, gasping with breath.
Jeannie steps over him and goes back into the other room.
Okay.
Ekon's gonna tag him with a first level healing word.
You do so, and with his now working arm, reaches up, clutches Ekon's cloak, and in Lemordian, I thank you 1,000 times.
We need to get out of here. This place isn't stable. Can you walk?
He's about to say no, but I mean, he looks down at his own legs, which have been buried under stone since the earthquake, and he finds that he can, because he's just been hit with healing magic. He gets to his feet in awe of the miracle that's just happened, the multiple miracles he's just experienced.
Good man. Upper my shoulder as we go through.
Ask him if he's friends with the workers there. Tell him to put in a good word for us, and maybe they'll let us
He's
through.
wearing clothing like he's a member of the whaling, whatever, right?
Yeah, it looks like he's a factory worker.
Yeah, I'll tell him we do need to secure passage through the factory for ourselves, but we should be able to get out of here.
And he nods, and he very swiftly looks like he can't get out of here quickly enough.
Yeah.
And if you follow him, he leads you up this northern passage here
Oh, okay.
into this cave area, which again looks like it's well traversed. In fact, off to the left here, you see what could be described as like a small break room area. Table set up, some chairs that have been toppled over by the quake, but it doesn't look like it's experienced a cave-in. Several more workers. Greet is the wrong word. But as you enter up in this direction, they see their comrade. He puts in the good word. And yeah, this indeed is one of the lower levels of the factory, where whale fat is delivered to from the refineries. And the existence of this basement level is basically because it has connection to this underground river that they use to transport material back and forth. None of them know what's going on as far as the earthquake. They weren't even aware at how close in proximity their factory basement levels were to the university.
Are you muted?
Victor is going to check down this other path.
Okay. Victor checks on the other path. And there is a cavern that slopes down in that direction. The smell from that direction of fermented whale blubber is fairly rank.
Ekon, can you ask the workers what that guy at the end of this passage is guarding?
Sure.
The basement level that he's guarding is underneath a large old family manor that at one point was one of the owning, operating, or controlling interests in this particular family some number of generations ago. But the eccentric family was bought out or restructured and has lost their control in the factory, but not the land that the manor has stood on. They don't know why that they've opened that basement area into this cave, but they don't go there, and they're not bothered by them.
Is there a reason we shouldn't just leave via the
Lamp factory?
Yeah, the guy that you've rescued from the rubble thinks that's a fantastic idea, and that's exactly what he would like to do now.
Victor's just going to
I
verify
think we
there's
need to get the hell
blubber.
out of here.
Okay.
Take one last pass around and see if there's any other survivors.
Victor's checking out here to make sure this horrible smell is what he thinks it is.
Victor, the smell in this room, looking into, is overpowering. From this door, there's actually a masonry walkway over here with a door, but it looks ancient. It looks much, much different from some of the other doors that you've seen. Looking to the south here, you see another very, very ancient doorway. This one's broken open and inward, and what can only be described as, oh, you're walking all the way up in there. Awesome. What can only be described as a torrent of alcohol has sloshed into this room from what looks like the dilapidated wine cellar on the other side of the door.
Guys, I found the interesting door.
Hey, when I see my families turn around and start wandering back the other fucking direction, like a bunch of weirdos, if I release the care of the guy that I've been helping with my shoulder, well, if I release him to his compatriots, will they help him out?
He doesn't need any help moving anymore. He's received magical healing. He's happy to wait for a few moments, and then he can escort you safely through the factory. He'll be able to vouch for you on the factory grounds.
Okay, then. All right.
Yeah, Evie did, Evie did give a good point though that we should make sure there's follow Victor through.
As far as other survivors, you don't see any other people in this room. But it looks like the wall of this wine cellar over here has collapsed.
So we're just going to go check out this door.
This one is stuck fast. It looks very ancient, like it hasn't been opened in a long, long time. In fact, the passage that you're standing in looks like it was only recently opened by the earthquake. It's possible nobody's opened or interacted with this door in hundreds of years.
Are there
Iron.
hinges on the door?
Steel.
Are there hinges?
Yeah.
Require a strength check to try to force it open, but yeah, it looks like it will open on hinges.
Wood, iron, steel? Question mark.
Stone.
Okay.
Orson,
Cousin Orson's job, it looks like.
need your help, Orson?
You can call Orson down to pull this door open. He asks if you're sure it's a good idea.
Obviously, it's a terrible idea, but we're still going to do it.
I can't argue with that
Yeah.
logic.
I mean, Orson, how long have you been with us?
Orson regrets his life choices every single day.
These weren't choices. You can't pick your family.
You can pick your nose, though. Anyway, he boots the door down.
Wow.
All right.
But you can't pick your family's nose.
He does not boot the door down. That's a 5.
So, Orson's blown open stone doors like this before, but it's like it's stuck fast on the other side with. It's hard to describe. It's almost like it's suctioned in place.
Well, maybe you loosened it. Let me try.
What are you trying to do?
I guess Victor will try to open the door.
This is going to end up with us being sucked out to sea. There's the other side of that door is being held by like the pressure of like a ton of water or something, and it's.
Well, Victor rolled a 6, so he didn't do any better than Orson.
Yeah, it becomes apparent after a few moments that you're going to... probably the fastest way would be to dismantle the stone of the door, and that's not even particularly fast.
What if we take the hinges off the door?
That would count as dismantling it.
Can a crowbar help?
A crowbar would have helped you try to pry it open, but you've already failed that check.
We need to get the
Someone's
door
got
open.
Someone with the strength higher than 8 is gonna have to try it because I'm not gonna.
Mine and Ekon strength is worse.
Can we just blast it open?
I do have a crowbar if someone wants to try with that. Someone hasn't tried yet. It probably should not be me.
Well, like I said, I've got a penalty, but I'll try it.
I'll give you a crowbar. That'll give you probably advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and go ahead and take a D4 on that.
Guidance.
Yeah.
If you got the crowbar, you can make it at advantage.
Let's throw that D4 on top of it. So yeah, it's 8. 9.
A 9. No, I mean, you put the whole of your strength into it, and almost you can feel what Orson was mentioning, how it almost feels like there's a suctioning force on the other side of it. The door remains stuck fast.
Ekon or Genie, can you just like blow the hinges off?
Stone doesn't burn.
Yeah, Jeannie glances at you and then just continues to look at her own corpse.
Don't you have Shatter, Genie?
Out of character, I do not have any more spell slots. Jerk.
Ooh, okay.
Why don't you rub it in?
Maybe this passage goes around. Check up here.
Look, looking down into the wine cellar.
Yeah.
As you glance down into it, you can see some activity is taking place, and there's another door that you hear open and shut off to your right if you were to enter. People are trying to salvage what they can out of the cellar. The whole right side of the room is in the process of the walls collapsing inward.
They may need our help in here if you guys want to be helpful.
I don't think they're going to appreciate us walking in uninvited.
Well, the guy who was guarding the door to the place already made it pretty clear that you were not welcome.
Is the door in front of the shutter open?
The door was blasted open when the wall started to crumble.
Okay.
And then shelves of these wine bottles collapse onto the ground.
Can I take a minute to point out the callousness of the Victor's callousness of this whole entire situation?
You can.
Yeah.
Like your cousin is literally having a nervous breakdown. Standing. So basically, the last 30 minutes of Jeannie's life have been she wakes up, doesn't know where she is, looks over, sees herself, starts seeing herself through herself. Right? An earthquake happens. She experiences extreme pain, and then she watches herself die while also watching her sister murder her. And then she gets led through an underground horror show while staring at her own corpse.
Aside from the while staring at her own corpse, though, that's just a Tuesday.
I mean,
But for me, it was Tuesday.
remember what Victor's flaw is.
So you guys urge Victor to leave the wine cellar alone?
Unless we're gonna rob the
Yeah.
place, which I don't think anyone's interested
No, I
in
mean,
doing.
yeah, I mean, it looks like these people are taking the wine back into the house. Victor's just gonna whatever.
And yeah, when you get back up to the factory floor, the man that you rescued is able to lead you out through the factory back into the city of Ludendorff.
Is there anything here we missed anywhere? I don't think so.
No, this store is driving me nuts because I don't want to get in there.
Same.
I
Well,
just
I
have
guess-
nothing that can do it.
I mean, I could try. I guess it's gonna be a bad roll, but I'll try.
Pass you the fucking crowbar.
Gina, you just
Okay,
gave
wait.
this whole speech about Victor being callous, and now Evie and Edmont are trying to break down this door still.
Is there enough space for both of us to work on the door?
Hey, how about an 18? I got a 1 and a 20.
Anybody who has not already failed the check can assist somebody else who hasn't failed on the check.
And then take
Well,
a D4 on that as well.
Okay.
And
So
I have not
18
failed the check.
18 is not enough.
So 18? Evie, you don't know where you find this wellspring of inner strength.
She's having a really bad day. She's looking for something to take out her aggression on.
She's like, this is even worse than the day my sister's having.
No, it's not that bad, but it's bad.
The smell that hits you when you open into this room is overpowering. There's no other exits. There's no ventilation. You can even feel for a moment the suction of air from the cavern you're standing whoosh into it. The entire floor is slick and covered with a slime that smells like rancid whale fat, which you didn't know what that even smelled like before you got to Ludendorff, so that's a fun life experience you now have.
Okay, so I think this is where they keep the whale fat.
The back of the room, a large, dark shape starts to slosh in your direction as the door opens.
Why did I open this door?
Let's roll some initiative.
Teach you one or more experience, obviously.
White is the only relevant. All these other Slim Shadies are just imitating.
Bye, Edmont.
I don't know how to math, so I had to look at my die again.
All right, who's first?
First up, we've got Victor with Evie on deck.
Victor, you don't know what's in the room. You can't see into it from there, but the smell of it, it's overpowering, emanating from the door. But you can see the look on Evie's face, and she doesn't like whatever she's looking at.
Gross. Okay, so is there any oil leaking out of the door?
There wasn't until Evie popped it open.
So where is the oil? Because when Victor throws a lit torch, he's assuming that the oil is going to burst into fire.
Okay, you could assume that if you want.
That's what he's going to assume. So he'd like to know where does that oil actually?
You'd have to throw it through the plane of the doorway into the room beyond.
Yeah, well, I just want to make sure that if it does catch fire, it's not going to come out and.
I'll give
burn
Evie a dexterity saving throw to avoid some damage from it, because she's standing closest to the door.
Okay, yeah. So Victor is going to light a torch and throw it in the room.
Okay. So you're gonna run up to the door in front of Evie?
Well, I mean, he's got to get to where he can actually throw it down the hallway, right?
Okay. I would let you do that from behind Ekon's position.
Oh, okay.
You can fling it over their heads.
I mean, yeah, he was gonna try and throw it towards the monster, but yeah.
But you can't do that from there. From there, you have to be in the doorway.
Yeah, so the idea is he's gonna use like half his movement to get here. He's gonna throw the torch and then try to get away before it lands.
Okay. Let's get a... Well, I got good news for Evie. Evie no longer has to make a dexterity saving throw. Victor, you have to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. That is going to be 16.
Okay. Go ahead and put yourself in any open available space that you have enough movement to reach back there. The torch doesn't so much ignite the oil on the ground or the whale grease on the ground as it does the years and years and years of pent up gas emitted by same. And the fireball in the room scorches the walls black. Evie, you feel this wave of scorching air hit your face as Victor jumps backward from the doorway next to you. The sound from the creature is the most horrifying of all, because it's the sound of 1,000 faraway voices crying out in agony.
And then suddenly silenced?
No, I didn't say anything about silenced. They're on fire and they're in pain and they're yelling about it.
Oh.
Who's next?
Next up is Evie.
Is the room on fire?
It's very, very hot, but no, I mean, there's some pockets burning here and there where there were big coagulations of fat still in the crevices on the wall, but it can be moved into safely now.
What am I looking at? What is this thing? Can I tell?
When you looked down before, you only saw the dark shadow of the creature. Do you have dark vision or any sort of light source?
No, but my familiar does.
Okay.
He's on my shoulder.
You're kind of, I guess it would be reasonable, given the circumstances, to expect like a giant whale fat golem. And it's kind of what you're looking at, just a mass of blubber and fat moving under its own power. But looking at it, you see dozens of twisted human skeletons lashed together inside of the thing, moving and lurching towards you and screaming in agony as quite a lot of it is burning on the inside and outside of this creature's form.
I apologize to everyone for this.
5, 10, 50. Evie's just like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that.
Why would you apologize? I finally got to cast Fireball.
Yeah, let's see.
Do you need me to roll for damage or anything on that?
Is that it for Evie?
I think so.
All right, who's next?
Ekon? So that is a wall of fire with the burning side pointing to the right.
That's
so
not
I'm
going to
gonna need
do
dexterity.
much for the screaming in agony that you hear.
I'm going to need a dexterity saving throw
I think it's bad at these.
for any creature within 10 feet of that.
14.
No.
Okay.
So here, that's a 5d8.
That's a big wall of fire.
60 feet long.
Yeah. I guess usually you don't need all 60 feet.
So that's 12 fire damage.
Okay.
And then any creature that will take that damage anytime that they end the first time on their turn they enter the wall of fire area or end their turn there. And then Ekon yells, "Close the door!"
Can't you close the door with your bonus action?
Don't
Can
know that
I?
it's closable with how we forced it.
Yeah, it might not be closable anymore.
Yeah, you pull the door back into place and it's quote unquote closed, but it's not secure like it was a moment ago.
See, so yeah, but that's a good idea. Yeah, I'll use a bonus action to telekinetically close the door, and then 5, 10, 15. Move back to there. That's the end of Ekon's turn. We've got Orson with Edmont.
Orson, what do?
I guess Orson's just gonna look down at everybody and be like, "Really?" And he's gonna just stand right here. He's gonna leave the ledge with Genie's Tube Genie and not Tube Genie. Just gonna
Poor
leave them up
Genie.
there.
Genie really is having a bad day.
He's gonna dodge.
Okay. Who's next?
After Orson, we've got Edmont with Creature on deck.
I guess we just wait to hear and wait to see what happens. Dodge.
Dodging there.
Yeah.
Creature with Genie on deck.
Okay. It has to end its turn in the wall of fire. It doesn't have a choice.
I'm going to need a saving throw.
Is that a dex save?
Yes.
Yes. 7.
He's be enjoying another 17 fire damage.
Okay. Victor. Give me a dexterity saving throw, please.
That's a 19.
19. The door bursts open, and a huge slab of stone sloughs off from it and is thrown forward towards you. Go ahead and place yourself in any adjacent square away from the door as the stone crashes down. And looking in, you see what looks like a huge fist formed up out of this blubbery material lashed together with human skeletons. The skeletons, for their part, some of them are reaching out from their chests. You can see their skulls, their bony arms reaching out for you, all of them wailing and very much on fire. That's it for the creature.
We've got Genie with Victor on deck.
Genie just kind of 5. She walks down here, and she puts a create bonfire right here in this square.
Genie walks up to the ocean with an eyedropper.
There.
No, but I remember when Alex used this spell to great effect.
Then she walks back to her own corpse and continues to look at it.
I love that combat because on one hand you guys found the perfect solution, but on the other hand you played it as dumbly as possible.
Like we're
I got,
trying to search the room as the skeletons are getting into the bonfire, falling over dead.
Who's next?
Got Victor with Evie.
Victor, you know where the creature is right on the other side of the door, but you cannot see it on account of the wall of fire.
Okay.
And bonfire.
So, if I were to steady aim to get advantage, that would just be 1 dice because I can't see it, or are we doing AC penalty?
That would cancel out the disadvantage you have for not being able to see it, but it would not allow you to get sneak attack.
Okay. Fine. That's fine. It's a terrible idea. We'll plan to face tank it. So yeah, we're gonna steady aim and throw a psionic dagger and see if it can have an aneurysm.
Okay.
Does a 13 hit?
13 does hit.
Oh, okay.
Big.
It would take 9 points of psionic damage.
Okay. As you fling the psychic dagger in, and it's hard to tell whether that particular wail you just heard was from the psychic damage or whether it's the fact that it's still sitting inside of a wall of fire. Either way, you're having a better day than it is. Moving or staying put? Oh no, you steady aimed.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's next?
Evie with Ekon.
I can't move through this bonfire, right?
No,
wouldn't
well,
want
you
to.
can.
Well,
But you'd have to make a saving throw and then take a whole bunch of damage if you failed.
Yeah, to answer your question, yes, you can move through the bonfire.
Also, when you enter the other side of the wall of fire, you'll have to make another saving throw.
Yeah. There's no reason to ever go into that room ever again.
Yeah,
Can
that's
I
probably
attack
why
the
it was
creature?
walled up so effectively.
Yeah,
you can
I
attack
can
it, but
see.
you can't see it.
Yeah, that's not much I can do about that because I have to move, so I can't steady aim.
Can you make the area between it and us difficult terrain?
No, I don't have any spell slots left.
Okay.
I'm doubtful it can get through this door, but it might be able to break through the wall because it's very large.
It's got a low AC. You could do it.
It's a
Yeah, I'll try.
it's a gel.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to attack it, and I will also allow Victor to make an attack. I'll give him advantage.
Okay.
Mine is at disadvantage, so... Okay, I don't get a crit,
Okay.
but I do get a really high number, 25
That'll
to
hit.
hit.
Excuse me.
And Victor got a 15.
15 will also hit. So let's get Evie's damage first, then Victor's.
Evie does only 6 points of magical piercing damage, so she cannot do a sneak attack under these circumstances.
Okay.
And Victor does 8 points of silent damage.
Okay. And Evie, moving or staying put?
I think I'm going to move, just so that I'm not the first thing it sees when it looks out the door, just to step out of the way a little bit.
Okay. Who's next?
Ekon. So I'm going to need another saving throw. I am detonating a fireball centered there.
Gross. Ekon's like, everybody else ran all their spell slots out. I gotta catch up. 12.
Not going to do it.
You forget Ekon has like access to like 9 fireball scrolls.
Oh, you are using one of your scrolls?
I mean, I used
Through
my
the scrolls yet.
Oh, okay.
That's 22 fire damage.
The thing can't possibly be on fire harder than it already is.
That's
I have
something
to
this
use
party is
Yeah.
very good at.
The fireball detonates in the room.
My spell slots are so Ekon doesn't have to use his up on the trash encounters. This is a big boy encounter, so spell slots are for
Give me
Ekon.
1 second to check something on my character sheet.
This was a big boy encounter that was safely entombed on the other side of a door that was very hard to open.
Yes,
Right, and then Evie's the one that opened it.
I am the
Hilarious.
one who opened it.
It's the first
The
bad
one who
decision Evie's
insisted
made
opening.
today.
Edmont was the one who insisted on opening it, though. So
I mean, Victor insisted pretty hard, too. You don't get all...
Evie is perfectly capable of making bad decisions without any help from anyone else. Thank you, Edmund.
I think for my bonus action, I'm actually going to healing word myself, because that one psychic attack was pretty bad.
Okay.
So that's the end of my turn. I'm also going to move back a bit, because I don't want to lose concentration on this wall.
All right, who's next?
Edmont with the creature.
So there's a bonfire here and a bunch of fire there. So any attacks that I would, the wall of fire is opaque, which means I would be making the attack at disadvantage. Yes.
You can attack the creature, but you cannot see it. You are functionally blind where this creature is concerned.
Okay then. But I do have a reach weapon. I do have a whip.
You can reach. Yeah, your whip will hit it from there.
All right, rolling at disadvantage to hit it then.
Yep.
Got a bad AC, you might still hit.
I don't know. That's an 11.
11 does not hit.
Extra
AC.
attack. How about a 12?
12 will hit.
Yeah, I figured out its AC.
Anything with an AC
Nice.
12, Edmont can hit.
9 points of slashing damage. And just gonna back up here and let's go ahead and key point to dodge.
Edmund, your whip strike breaks part of the creature away, so you can hear the wet slop of the fat hitting the ground and the clatter of bones as well as you step back.
Don't like that.
Creature's turn?
Creature with genie, yes.
All right, so first the creature... Okay, so the first damage the creature's going to take is entering the space with the bonfire. Is that correct?
Sure.
Okay.
That is a dexterity saving throw, I do believe.
14.
Okay, that is a fail. And it's... Just verifying it's a D8.
Mhm.
Yes, so
Probably several did.
Yeah, it's 48.
Almost as good as the wall.
You better hope you kill this thing. It's
Uh,
not. I don't think it's
12.
going to take wall damage this turn. I think it can get out
12.
of the wall. 12 points.
Yep, 12 points fire damage.
With the rest of its movement, it can get beyond the bonfire. And I think I can get all three of you.
Oh, no, is he about to get eaten again?
So Evie, Victor, and Edmont.
And the familiar.
Yeah, and my familiar, if that matters.
Oh, no.
Give me a DC 16 strength saving throw.
Did move adjacent to Orson.
By
It did.
strength,
Sentinel.
Yeah. That is a 15 to hit.
Well, this would be for Polearm Master, not Sentinel.
Yeah.
15 does hit.
8 points.
Okay. The thing is looking
Edmont failed it.
pretty bloodied.
Edmont failed the saving throw.
How did Evie and Victor do?
Victor rolled a 1, so
I got, because I switched my strength for intelligence, I got a 24.
What did Edmont get?
Evie, place yourself in any open space adjacent to the creature. You, for once, are not engulfed by the monster.
Well,
He's in practice avoiding these situations.
Edmont and Victor.
Would a +5 help Edmont?
That would only take it up to a 12 for me.
Okay. I didn't hear what the DC was.
16, I think, is what he said.
27 points of bludgeoning damage for the two of you.
Oof.
As this goopy monster has no difficulty squeezing its way through the narrow passage and over the wreckage of the door. And parts of it are still on fire, which is also intimidating. And just
You said
slops.
27?
Did I?
you said 27.
27, yes.
Okay, then. Thanks for those temporary hit points, by the way.
Neither of you can breathe, and both of you are restrained. And then it's going to attack Evie and Orson. Let's do Evie first, because I think she deserves it. Evie, I've got a 21 to hit you.
That hits.
Roll that again if the creature can be blinded, but that's a big if.
Can be blinded. I don't understand how, but it can. Evie, that turns it into a 16 to hit.
That still hits, unfortunately.
Okay.
Worth a try.
20 points of bludgeoning damage from the slam attack.
I would like to use my reaction to cut that in half, please.
Very good. And Orson, I might actually hit Orson for once.
I mean,
I have a 25 to hit Orson.
yeah, that'll do it.
I think that hits everything.
It wouldn't hit Gus.
10 points of bludgeoning damage against Orson. So the thing goops its way out of the door, completely engulfs Edmont and Victor, and you guys are inside getting crushed. You can't breathe. All your orifices are filling up with partially liquefied, boiling, rancid whale fat. And then it lashes out with entire human skeletons forming its arms, once at Evie and once at Orson. The good news is the thing's looking real bloodied. It's had a hard time getting here.
I need a clarification. Is it whale fat or human fat?
I'm going to say Victor's not in a good position right now to make that determination. He's got more important things to worry about in the next 10 seconds of his life. But probably whale fat, considering that this is attached to a large whale refinery.
I'm pretty sure whale fat doesn't do this normally.
Got Genie with Victor on.
He turns back around, looks at it, and she is going to summon a turret. Actually, she's going to 5, 10, 50. She's going to move here, summon a turret in this spot.
Okay.
And then it's going to scuttle 5 feet away. And then it's a protector turret. So
Sure.
Everybody who is within 10 feet of this square between Orson and the creature gets 8 No, 7 temporary hit points. I'm just give me a minute to make this thing. Protector. So that's everybody but Edmont. Excuse me, everybody but Ekon, I think.
Edmont and Victor are
10
inside the creature, but they're within 10 feet.
Yes.
That's 10, you said?
7.
7, okay.
So not amazing. We're at the level where like this is no longer game breakingly good, but it's still 7 more hit points than you had before. Essentially,
Right.
that is like 35 points of healing. That's pretty good.
Moving or staying put? Moving back
Back to my corpse. Yep.
Okay. Who's next?
Next up, we've got Victor with Evie.
Victor, you can use your action to try to free yourself from the creature.
That requires a strength check.
It's going
Or
to
dex.
require... you can repeat the strength saving throw. I wonder why they didn't make this a dex save, because then you'd have Oh, you know what? I know why. Never mind.
And that's the only action I can take?
No, you can take any action you want. It's just you have disadvantage on attack rolls right now because you're restrained, and your speed is 0, so you can't move.
Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking I stand a better chance at attacking this thing than I do escaping.
Just flailing wildly at its insides.
I mean, dude, my strength is 9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you're rolling attack rolls at disadvantage for being restrained.
I would like to take the moment to remind you, Victor. You can literally teleport.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, we're gonna teleport.
Okay. To where?
You seem to keep forgetting that.
I do keep forgetting that.
Half this goddamn party can teleport.
I can't
That's the thing
teleport.
with-
I just have 90 feet of movement.
Edmont can't teleport because he can't see anywhere to go.
So we can teleport up to 70 feet away.
That's basically... you can teleport yourself into the burning inferno over here.
That's almost worth it just to be safe.
You can make the deck save, right?
Okay, so you get yourself out.
Don't teleport so far that you can't attack the thing, because we're
Victor,
about to kill this thing. on my
You've
turn.
never been more filthy in your life. And I mean, you're coughing and choking. Like, this stuff is... you have to blow it out of your nose, and it's blurring up your vision. But you can breathe again, and you're no longer restrained after the teleport.
Okay.
If you're more than 30 feet from me, 5, 10, 15. Okay, I think you're still in range.
Is that it for Victor?
I think for my bonus action, we're gonna transfer Hunter's Mark onto this thing.
Okay. Who's next?
Yeah, and then that'll be, yeah.
Okay, after Victor, we've got Evie with Ekon.
Evie, fix it.
Evie's eyes blaze. First familiar moose here gives me advantage. Bonus action, give Victor advantage. Victor, we are both sneak attacking this thing.
Okay.
It doesn't have that many hit points left. I'm scared.
It'll be fine. Neither of them will hit.
We both have advantage.
And I've proven that it's only got an AC of 12, so...
I got a 15. Thank God.
I got a 22.
Both of those hit.
All right. This is it. This is what we trained for, Victor. 2 rogues sneak attacking at the same time. This is what we wanted. Genie died for this.
That's 29 points from Victor.
22 points from Evie.
Okay. Which one of you wants to kill it? Because it only has 14 hit points left.
We both kill it.
Yes.
Well, no, one of your attacks landed before the other one. I want to know
I think-
which of you is more valuable.
Well, I think the way the technique is worded, I think my attack has to go first.
So Victor doesn't do anything then.
All right. Well, we know what it really happened.
Edmont, same deal. As the thing collapses around you, you're buried in a pile of human skeletons covered in partially liquefied whale fat. And you are able to breathe again after you choke and vomit part of it out of your throat. You clamber yourself up out of this pile of bones. That was the best door you've ever insisted on opening.
I'll drop concentration on the wall of fire,
Okay.
and hovering 5 feet above the ground, I'll just poke my head in and check for any magical auras in this room.
Okay. You do find one, a faint aura of... Sorry, let me get my notes here. I have monster notes in one file and like dungeon notes in the other file.
All of you get to
A faint aura of necromantic magic coming from the back of the room where there's a smoldering pile of more congealed fat melting against the far wall, which would have been underneath where the creature started.
Can I pinpoint an object concentrating?
Yeah, there's definitely an object inside this, like a baseball-sized radius, inside this little pile of whale fat if you just want to dig it out.
Yeah, I have to. Mage Hand doesn't work on magical objects, so yes.
Okay. So yeah, you reach in and you pull out this stone, radiating necromantic magic that looks like a chunk of unworked copper ore.
Stuff in the bag of holding, fly back out.
Okay.
All right,
Victor,
he does have my bag of holding. Ah!
Victor will take that decanter of water and start to wash
Start
the filth off of him and Edmont.
Are we
Oh,
leaving
thank
the dungeon after this? Are you taking the
think
man
so.
up on his offer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we have anywhere else to go except unless we want to invade this guy's house.
Then you're able to get a very brief, impromptu tour of part of this factory as he leads you back up to the streets of Ludendorff, where chaos is still looming around every corner, this earthquake being very, very recent. And that's where we will take our break. It is sandwich time. Go ahead and get your coffee, get your bagel. We'll reconvene here at 5 o'clock.